Hey guys, SpinoDude here, and today we are taking a look at a 2017 Papo figure. So let's have our co-host Marvin bring it out. Thank you, Marvin. So today guys, we are going to be taking a look at this massive predator. It's the 2017 Papo Acrocanthosaurus. Now I picked this guy up at my local science shop in Northampton, Massachusetts, A to Z Science and Learning Store, but if you're unable to visit there, I recommend checking out www.everythingdinosaur.com if you're looking for the new 2017 Papo figures. So without further ado guys, let's dive into the review. Before we take a closer look at the figure, here are a few quick facts about Acrocanthosaurus itself. Acrocanthosaurus adokensis means high-spined lizard. It was a species of Carcharodontosaurid from the Cretaceous period of what is now the United States of America. Acrocanthosaurus grew up to about 38 feet long and may have hunted sauropods for prey. The spines on its back, where the high-spined lizard gets its name, show some evidence as being attachment points for muscles. This has led some to believe that the spines of Acrocanthosaurus sported a hump of fatty tissue that ran down the length of its body, helping the animal go without food for extended periods of time. It may have also been a form of visual display, possibly sporting brighter colors and patterns. So without further ado guys, let's start taking a closer look at this awesome predator. So here is the 2017 Papo Acrocanthosaurus. I've been wanting to pick this guy up and I finally have him in hand now. And for first impressions, I must say that this figure is smaller than I expected, but I actually think the size is perfect. It scales up nicely next to Papo's other larger carnivores. I'll do some comparisons and a measurement later in the video. Now we all know that Papo are experts at putting stunning detail into their prehistoric animal figures, and this Acrocanthosaurus is no exception, with all of these gorgeous scales individually carved into the sculpt. These scales look particularly impressive on the face, which we'll take a closer look at in just a moment, and on the underside of the animal you can see these wide scales on the chest, as well as on the hands and feet, which are beautifully detailed. I have to say though that the glossy finish they used on this model really takes away from the sculpt work, especially on the animal's spines here. Towards the midsection and the underside though, it does look much better. Also, the hands are oversized here, but the feet look decent in comparison to the body. I also love the tensing muscles on this figure in the limbs, as well as the wrinkles and folds in the skin, especially in the neck here. On this side of the Acrocanthosaurus, you can see this leg is pushing forward into the midsection, and if we flip over to the other side, this leg is pulling back, so the skin is pulling across the midsection there. I just thought that was great attention to detail, and it really makes it seem like this animal is mid-motion here. I also really like the spikes or scoots running down the back of this Acrocanthosaurus. I think they add a lot to this piece's overall appearance. Now it's time to take a closer look at my favorite part of this entire model. Just look at this head sculpt. Absolutely gorgeous. The scaling detail here is incredible, and I think the glossy finish actually works out very nicely on the face. You can see the eye is done in some interesting colors here. It has a yellow base, a black pupil, and some red highlights around the pupil. I think it looks very nice. I also really like these ridges starting behind the eye and going down the snout to where the nostrils are carved out on the tip. The head here doesn't quite match up with the shape of the actual skull from Acrocanthosaurus, but in my opinion, it's close enough and definitely resembles the animal. Now, if you're familiar with Papo, you'll know that most of their carnivorous prehistoric animal figures have articulated jaws, and this Acrocanthosaurus sports one as well. It opens very smoothly and it looks great, although personally I think I like it better with the mouth closed. Opening the mouth, if you look in the corner, you can see the flap of skin that pulls down and matches up with the one on the upper jaw, and when you close the mouth you can see it tucks away smoothly. With the jaw open here, you can see the beautifully sculpted teeth, which are done in white, and the tongue, which is done in a fleshy pink color. The roof of the mouth is even detailed and painted, if you can see all the way in there. Also, here's a look from the bottom so you can see how the articulated jaw is integrated into the sculpt. I really like how it just slides along this tan marking on the throat, and you can barely tell that the jaw is hinged when it's not moving. Now the colors on this figure are almost identical to the Papo Running T-Rex repaint from 2016, and while some people are upset about that, I am actually quite happy. I loved the unique colors on the Tyrannosaurus, but just being a repaint, the figure didn't interest me too much, and it sort of felt like the colors were wasted, for lack of a better word. Perhaps Papo were sort of testing the waters with this fairly bold color scheme in comparison to their older models' colors, and a lot of people seem to like it, which is maybe why they put it on this Acrocanthosaurus. I love the grayish base with the orange midsection, as well as the dark red stripe going down the body with some yellow spots, and of course the dark bluish purple spines running down the back. I must say I like the dulled purple color on the face more than the solid bluish purple on the spines. It just feels more naturalistic to me. The pose on this figure is quite dynamic, but I'm personally not a huge fan of it. You can see the Acrocanthosaurus here is mid-stride in a low striking position with its tail flicking off into the air. The sculpt work with the pose is nicely done, but I'm just not sure why it doesn't really appeal to me personally. Another thing to note is that this figure is a tripod, but it's not too obvious like some other figures. You can see that the Acrocanthosaurus is leaning on its fingers here, and my only complaint about this is that it causes this finger to bend forward because of the weight being put on it, at least on my model. Since I display it from the other side anyway, like this isn't a huge issue, but it is definitely worth noting for collectors. Alright, so for my overall thoughts on this figure, I think it's great. My only two complaints have to be the extremely glossy finish on the body and the bending finger on the right arm. My personal nitpick is the pose. I don't know why, I'm just not a huge fan of it. But overall, I think it is a nice, slightly stylized version of the animal, and I love the choice of colors on it. So nice job, Papo. You've done great work recreating the Acrocanthosaurus. So you're probably wondering just how big this figure is, so Marvin, bring out the ruler. Thank you, Marvin. Alright, we've got our trusty flexi ruler now, so let's give this Acrocanthosaurus a measure. So in terms of the length from the tip of the snout all the way to the tip of the tail, we are looking at about 11 inches, and in terms of the height at the highest point, which is the top of the tail there, we are looking at about 6 inches. For comparison, here is the Papo Acrocanthosaurus next to the Papo Baryonyx. If you want to see the review for this figure, link will be down below in the description. Now this Baryonyx is a little bit large next to this Acrocanthosaurus, but it is speculated that Baryonyx could have grown larger than the fossils found. Maybe not this large, but I still think they look nice on display with each other. Up next for comparison, here is the Papo Acrocanthosaurus next to the Papo Cryolophosaurus. If you want to see the review for this figure, link will be down below in the description. These two new 2017 releases look quite nice with each other. I love the colors on both. And finally, for comparison, here is the Papo Acrocanthosaurus next to the Papo Ceratosaurus. If you want to see the review for this figure, link will be down below in the description. The Papo Ceratosaurus is an absolutely gorgeous 2017 release, and I think these two figures look great with each other. Well, there we go, guys. That was today's look at the 2017 Papo Acrocanthosaurus. I think this figure is great. Not my personal favorite from their latest releases, but still a very nice figure to add to your collection. So if you guys want to get this figure for yourself, I got mine at my local science shop, A to Z Science Store in Northampton, Massachusetts, but if you are unable to go there, I recommend going to www.everythingdinosaur.com for fast shipping and great service. So anyway, guys, I hope you have enjoyed this video. If you did, leave a like down below and subscribe to the channel. Also leave a comment telling me what you think of this new model. So thank you so much, guys, for watching, and as always, I will see you in my next video. Take care, and bye-bye.